you've ever felt like the third wheel, this podcast is for you.
If you love Wheel of Time, this podcast is for you.
If you're bored and have nothing better to do, this podcast is for you.
Join Rob,
Megan,
And Jenn
in celebrating the Wheel of Time
and its statistically best fandom
and ridiculous gaming skills,
and probably a few cocktails.
and find out which one of them will be the third wheel this time.
This is
three-wheeling.
It's three-wheeling time.
It is three-wheeling.
Yes, it is.
I always feel, I don't know, I always feel like when I listen to our intro, I'm like, we're so pro.
Especially because I think we did. I know we did that all separately, but like the ending, we just all timed ourselves together. It's like so well.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
perfect.
because we're all secretly related.
Exactly.
True, very, very
Yeah.
true. Although not so secret now because we keep talking about it. So.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. How you been?
Good.
Have you been? Oh,
Oh,
see?
jeez.
Same.
Okay.
We're gonna be
All right.
sitting all day.
I don't know. It's I haven't been up to much, not much. Pretty chill. Went to Prague, had some fun, hung out with some Wheel of Time fans.
What else?
As you do.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah, no, I between now and the last time we recorded, I have done the third MalkieriCon. Well, I suppose technically the fourth MalkieriCon because the first one was technically an online thing to celebrate the anniversary of my YouTube channel. And then in my drunken state, probably about 7 hours in of the 8.5 hours or whatever it was I did, I said, this should be in person. I'm going to make it in person next year. And then I had to back that up. So
Such a good
we just
idea.
did the third.
Well done.
Yeah,
Well done.
thank you.
Good
We did
job,
the third
alcohol.
in-person MalkieriCon. Good. No, this is a rule that sober Rob and drunk Rob have. That drunk Rob cannot make totally outlandish claims or decisions because they agreed that sober Rob has to pull that off.
Right.
And if sober Rob can't, it makes drunk Rob look like a douchebag. And vice versa. So they agreed to limit the craziness to a certain level, and this was peak, but it happened. So yeah.
And now I'm seeing a whole Gollum Smeagol scene with drunk Rob and sober Rob having a conversation with each other.
No, it's more like when when drunk you goes to bed. When drunk you goes to bed, but puts
Yes.
like some like a glass of water on the bedstand and Advil or whatever your hangover medication of choice is, and then you wake up and you're just like, drunk me was good to sober or hungover me or whatever you are at that stage. So yeah, it's like that.
I love it.
But yeah, so we did that. But we I'll tell you all about it. I told you a couple of things already, but we'll tell you more. So yeah, we'll get there.
Oh, I was gonna say, and the time change, the time zone thing just made it hard. I had a virtual membership and wanted to watch everything live, and I watched everything.
Forgot
after
that it
the fact.
was
I just know.
Yeah.
I just it was just hard to make it happen live. But
Hey, what are we drinking this week, Meg?
What are we drinking?
What's
Any of you
Meg
peeked
drinking?
ahead of time or no?
I have not peeked ahead of time. I felt thoroughly told off last time.
Yeah, I know, right?
There was teacher vibes. I was just like, wow, did I feel is that a knuckle ruler smash feeling I'm getting there,
So this week we are drinking a basic brown.
Basic brown.
So why
Oh my God, that's
called,
amazing.
So why it's called the basic brown is basically it's a pumpkin spice old fashioned. So basic bitches drink pumpkin spice.
Mm-hmm.
And then
I
was
forgot
like,
it's almost PSL season.
Yeah. Oh, it totally is PSL season already. And so
is it bad that I know what that's the
It is
acronym,
bad that you know what that
PSL?
is.
It's bad, and I don't like pumpkin spice.
Embarrassing
I'm like,
you're a
oh my
basic
God.
bitch, you know it.
I am. Yes, it's fine.
But yeah, so I was like, well, it's a nice cozy drink, while you're cuddling up with a book, and then it's brown in color, like a Brown Ajah, but then because it's a basic bitch drink because of the pumpkin spice, it's a basic brown. So That's the cocktail. So
Yep.
I made homemade pumpkin spice simple syrup. So you do basically equal parts pumpkin butter and water, and then heat it up, and then you have to strain it while it's still warm. So that's the pumpkin spice syrup, and then so after that, it's just in a old fashioned glass with a big ice cube. It's just and it 1.5 ounces of bourbon, 1 ounce of the pumpkin spice simple syrup, stir it, and then a dash of aromatic bitters, and then a dash of cinnamon bitters, which I could not find, so I just put some orange bitters in just for funsies. So
Nice.
cheers.
Nice.
And then I didn't have any
Cheers.
cinnamon sticks either to garnish, but oh well.
I don't have cinnamon sticks either, but did you know? I have another comment after this. But did you know that you can get cinnamon bark as well?
Yes. Oh yeah, and
Mhm.
it's gorgeous, and it's really
Yeah,
pretty, and
it's
Damn
so
it.
good. So
yeah.
when I I made mulled wine a few years back for Christmas.
Googling this.
I threw in cinnamon bark as part of it. It's like aesthetically really pleasing.
It is.
But I want to back the truck up a little bit here. Sorry, pumpkin butter.
Oh, I just
Yes.
bought pumpkin butter. That is the one thing.
Educate me now. What is pumpkin butter? So this is a thing you can. Pumpkin butter is a thing you can buy in America. I'm sorry, butter
Okay,
and
hang on.
pumpkin.
I'm
in the
gonna
same-
run upstairs and go
basically-
get the jar. Hang on.
Okay, she's gonna get the jar. She probably has the same one I have, but it's not like a nut butter, and that it's not like as thick as a peanut butter. It's more like a jam or a jelly, or it's almost like lemon curd. You know the consistency of lemon curd?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a little bit opaque in that way. It's not as
So
clear as a jelly.
It's okay. So it's more gelatin style product than
Yes.
a butter type
Yes.
product. Okay.
Yes.
Because I was thinking literal, like butter,
Right, like a peanut butter.
like like one, yeah, or butter that you put on your bread, like
Yeah.
butter,
Yeah.
cow
No,
butter.
It's
milk butter, whatever,
definitely more of a I would put it in the jam and jelly category. Yeah, the
Okay.
preserves category. I
Yeah.
think, assuming that's what she has,
Preserves.
that I have, that's what she's assuming. Because I make
I don't know. Right now, we're just staring at her copious
she's gone.
amounts of
Okay, I'm back.
various
Is it the
alcohol.
Trader Joe's that you have, or no?
No, it's not. Hang on, you'll
Oh
recognize it in a
no!
minute. Yes.
Is it Deals? Is it Deals?
It is Deals, yes.
Deals?
So
Okay.
that's
This
our
show is
local.
brought to you by
They're
Deals.
brought to you by. It's not. It's really
like-
not.
It is a
I
little
can't.
bit. There we go. I can see.
I
it.
see
There you
that.
go.
Yeah, I see.
Megan, that's not fair. My
So-
mouth is literally watering now that you said it's from Deals.
So here I'm gonna try to
yeah, she's
show
gonna
the
show us.
consistency.
You've gone through all of
Getting
that
some-
since this week.
Well, I used all of it. Well, half of it for the.
Oh yeah,
Simple
but you
syrup.
just went last weekend, right? To
Yeah.
Deals. Okay, so Rob, we do have to do a little plug for Deals. So Deals Apple Orchard. Apple orchards is a thing in Michigan. It's in the Midwest, but it's the thing I miss most about fall.
Well, and Michigan is
living
known
in
for their
LA.
apples too.
Michigan
so.
is known for their apples. They have amazing apples, and we have apple ciders. And so, in fact, let's just go to the one of the last two books. But the title, the chapter title, that's like, what is it? What's the chapter title about apples? When Rand comes down from the mountain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah. And he's in the apple
Yeah.
orchard. Megan, it's always been Deals for me in my head, my head canon. So Deals is this beautiful apple orchard that's near where we grew up. It's really close to where we had our horse for many years. So you would ride through the apple orchard. They would let you ride through with your horse, was fine. They actually
and there was
have
like a tie out for the.
they have
horses.
hitching post tie out. So when you could ride your horse there in the winter or whenever, and tie your horse up, go into the cider mill to get either hot cider. In the summer, you could get cider slushes that are amazing. They would give, if you came in on a horse.
They're not open in the winter anymore.
I know, they're not anymore. They would, if you came in on a horse, they would give you the sort of more mealy apples, like the apples they were going to just throw out that they couldn't use, and you could feed them to your horse. And it's just, and then they make a cold press cider that's incredible, and they make cinnamon donuts, and they watch them come off the press. Oh my god! And it is the best thing about fall.
Yes.
Okay.
I love me some Deals. And Megan went last weekend, and I was very jealous because I live out.
I went to.
I
get
live
this.
Yep, and I live 2,000 miles away.
Well, I mean, if they want to sponsor the podcast, I'm not going to say no. But just all of that sounded good. The cider slushies. That sounds. God, I bet you could launch that here in the UK in the very limited amount of summer we do get, and it would just be. People would would
They're
die
so
for
good.
them.
They're so good. We used to
Oh
feed
my
we
God.
used to feed them to our horse. Like we would drink half of it and then just like hold the cup up and our horse would lap it up. Yeah.
Very nice.
Good
Yeah.
times.
So,
Yeah. Wait.
so how does it taste, by the way, though, Meg? Like,
Very good.
oh,
Yeah, it is very good.
There he is.
Oh, Napoleon.
There's our
Napoleon.
horse. Our horse
I'm
Napoleon.
sorry, you named your horse Napoleon?
Yes, because
Okay,
he
you
was.
got to hear this story.
Well,
my God, all right.
he's short. He's technically a pony. He's 14
And you can
too.
cut this if it's boring.
Yes, he's 14 hands 2 inches, and so he's a Morgan. He's actually standard
Right.
Morgan side. Morgans are usually 14.2, 14.3, but he's a Morgan. So he was short and thought he could take over the world. So we named him
He
Napoleon.
had the Napoleonic complex for sure.
He did in a big
And
way.
he would try to
that
mount
seems
mares
appropriate.
even though he had nothing to give them. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And
is
was
that
probably
our
too
audio
short as
clip
well.
for this week?
He was too
I
short.
mean, that does sound like quite a convention I might have thrown in Prague. So. Oh my God. Okay. Speaking of people all connected.
Yes.
Oh my God. Seriously, what are they doing?
Megan,
You didn't even need to finish that sentence.
I
You knew
know.
what I
We
meant.
knew what you meant. Megan, give us the tea. Give us the tea.
There's so
So-
much. Okay, so I'm going in chronological order because a lot has been happening. So it seems like everybody has gone to London. So
It's
Priyanka,
after everybody was in Spain, though,
right?
Yeah, they're on the
which
back
we
of
talked about
London.
last week. Yeah, so half the
Yeah.
We did,
people were
yeah.
in Spain.
Yeah. So now we're all in London. So Priyanka and Maya look like they had dinner dessert in Broadway Market, London. Then Taylor, who plays Maxim, took a flight from Barcelona to London, assuming Rafe is joining him as well. Then at some party, and it seems like it's hosted by a whiskey company. What was the name? I looked it up. Glen Morangi?
Yeah, that's not just a whiskey company. That's
Okay.
that's a quality whiskey.
Well, I hadn't
brand.
heard of it in the States, so
Okay.
so because they were getting tagged in all these photos. So I don't know if they were hosting the party or what, but it had Priyanka, who plays Alana, Marcus, who plays Perrin, Maya, who plays Chiad, Michael Lindahl, which is one of our new cast members that we don't know, but we're assuming he's potentially playing someone in the Two Rivers. Another actor that has not been announced by anybody, Jazzy DeLisser. So I looked her
I
up.
missed that.
Yes.
Jazzy DeLisser. Okay.
So I looked her up. She's a British actress, 5'8". It says she graduated from school in 2009. I don't know if that's high school or college, but basically that would mean she's between 33 and 37 years old. Her credits include Top Boy, which is 2 episodes. Vampire Academy was 3 episodes. Hilma, Project Power, Hurt by Paradise, First Person, a Film About Love, Abigail Falls, The Last Birthday, Thumper. She was in 1 episode of Game of Thrones, and Random Acts of Violence, and To Get Her.
In
So it
season
seems-
4, episode 2 of Game of Thrones.
And her name is what again?
She played Tansy in that episode.
Yeah, so it's the episode where Ramsey and his creepy girlfriend are like hunting a girl and she's running away.
Yeah. That's her. She's the runaway.
Yes,
The one who's running away.
She's the one that's running away.
Oh, I loved her actually. I loved her.
Yeah.
What is it?
Okay.
Wait, how do you spell her name? What is it?
Jazzy, Jazzy,
Okay.
and then DE,
Yep.
and
Delissa.
then
Got her.
L. Yep.
Do you know what? I typed in Jazzy, and it just as soon as I finished Jazzy, like what it was like the 4th option down in Google. Like I didn't even need to like type in D.
So maybe everybody's looking her up now.
Maybe everyone's looking her up. I do feel like I recognize her a little bit. Not that I've like seen her in it, but like I've seen it in things. I mean, so
I mean,
okay,
it seems like she's relatively unknown. So
yeah.
But yeah, and then she was
Oh,
Yeah.
was she in Project Power? Okay, I've seen that,
The-
and I actually,
yes. Yeah.
she was the frozen
So
woman.
they were
Okay,
all there
right.
at this party. And also it looked like Maya and Priyanka were playing backgammon at this party.
I mean, why not? You know?
Right.
I just rewatched. Okay, and I know we're gonna talk more about episodes and things later, but we just rewatched. We just binged season 1 again, and we just started season 2. And I just watched the scene with her and Egwene when she's telling Egwene about what to do with 2 men. It's just so delicious. And she's slowly eating those pomegranate arrows. Oh my God, I love her so much. 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 So brilliant. She's brilliant.
So
Love
that
that.
was one thing. Then I saw another photo of Kira, who plays Elaine, and Zoe, who plays Nynaeve, hanging out in Greece. And then the most recent photo had Ayula, Zoe, Yosha, Marcus, Maya, Kira, Priyanka, Taylor, and Sibylla Medi, who's like their chaperone kind of a person.
Yeah, she's like the
And
handler. Yeah.
yeah, and then
But
Max
also
Ellis
friends.
Fisher, who's a writer, all hanging out in an elevator in London.
I mean,
And
I
then
did not
also-
recognize the elevator, if that's what you mean.
Yeah. Wait, what?
I do not recognize that elevator.
I wasn't expecting
So I
you
don't
to
know where they are.
recognize the elevator.
No, I just felt like you were looking, maybe you were looking at file, you were looking at the camera, and I was
Oh,
just like, am I meant to add something about the
No,
elevator
no.
scene?
You must know every elevator in London because you live in the UK.
I mean, I've been around a few places in London, but I don't usually memorize the elevators. So
You should.
I should start doing that, apparently.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Oh, I see the elevator. I see the
Yeah.
elevator.
Yeah, and then there was also a photo of Priyanka that Priyanka posted of Kate Fleetwood, who plays Leandrin. So,
right.
do you think maybe they
And
were
did you-
doing like a showing of season 3 or something for the cast and crew?
No.
Well, why are they
I
all
don't think so.
there?
Maybe there was, so the Barcelona thing had to have been a party race. That had to be that. Like maybe Rafe
Okay.
invited everybody out, sort of thing. I think you're talking about the whole Glenmorangie like whiskey party thing.
Mhm.
I reckon they've just, got invited for, maybe I don't know how, maybe for some reason Wheel of Time got an invite, something of that nature. I don't know.
Mhm.
And they've gone to the party and they'll just hang out in London anyway, because Kate went to the final showing of Kiss Me Kate, which was
Hamad's play.
Friday. Hamad's play, which was Friday night, and actually like recorded him on stage a little bit, like from the audience, which obviously you're not meant to get your phone out and record things.
Right.
So I reckon they're just like, oh, we've been in town for a party, and now we're all just like go
Hanging
and
out.
hang out. Yeah, just doing things as you do. Because London's
they're
got a
all
lot to do,
besties.
They are. They are. Almost all of them are friends. You see them all hanging out all together all the time. So I honestly think it's just that innocent. I know, like, oh my God, they're in London. Like Yosha posting, like, London, like just doing a stupid
Right.
face in the selfie. I just honestly think they came into London for a party that they got invited to through some sort of Amazon connection, and yeah, they've just decided to hang out in London afterwards. Why not?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I might be
Oh, wait,
wrong.
Taylor's
It might
on
have
his
been
way
some
to
kind of
LA.
viewing party.
Taylor's on his way to LA right now.
Oh, breaking
Well,
news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
He,
Well, like
yeah.
right now,
8
like you're
hours,
tracking his
8 hours
flight.
ago. Yeah, 8 hours ago, he posted a picture of a flight that said to Los Angeles.
Oh, I'll tell him to come look you up. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. I'm writing on 5 different projects right now. I need one. I just want to move to one project, please. Thank you.
Yes.
In Prague. London,
One
Prague.
one Wheel of Time project. Yes.
Wait, there's a bug in
So-
my coffee, people.
Are you still going to drink
That's
it?
Of course I'm
the
still gonna
karma
drink it.
balance. Yeah, just take the bug out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the karma balancing if you're getting a Wheel of Time contract. That's what it is. So, I actually asked Guy. So when we did, now this might be jumping over to the MalkieriCon discussion a bit quick, but when we did the interview with Guy, I did actually at the end ask him about, how someone, like, if there's what's the first step in trying to get yourself recruited on a show like Wheel of Time? Because I did the whole like mouth thing. And he said the number one tip, particularly for someone, from a different country or not, outside of Europe where there's like the 3 travel and work thing. Number one thing you should make sure of is that you're available to work where the filming will be taking place or the writing will be taking place or whatever it is you do. Because if you have no eligibility to work there, or it's going to take forever to get you some sort of visa, then that's really just going to get you on the list straight away. Because that's too much work. So Jen,
I'm working on my Italian passport. Well, I'm working on being
There we
married
go.
to an Italian citizen. If David gets his Italian passport, then I
was very concerned for a second. I was just like, wait, are you getting remarried?
remarried.
Like,
Yes. Yes. If my children.
I mean,
Just last week,
2024,
they were so cute.
And now I'm marrying an Italian.
I mean, the accent is
Yeah.
beautiful. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And I have
yeah,
worked in
that
Denmark,
was
but not under a Danish visa. I worked as a guest teacher, so it doesn't count.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know,
But I
and
mean,
it is a big no. I mean, I've been like, it's something I've been thinking about too, because for shows that I'm actually trying to get going, I was like, there are some really wonderful things about working overseas. I am a member of SAG. I'm a member of the WGA. I want to support all of our unions here and keep our work here, but at the same time, there are some not just tax benefits. There's some really wonderful things. There's amazing artisans over there. Like, there's just a lot of reasons why filming in Europe is actually pretty incredible. So,
mhm, that's fair.
yeah.
Yeah. So that was the tip he gave us, and as you can see, folks, it's a real tip. It's not just a made up one, because Jenn is
There
now
it is.
trying to get an
Yeah.
Italian passport. So
Yeah.
so wait, is David, not to divert the conversation? David's Italian.
He is Italian. He's like, I mean, his dad was born here. His dad's older sister was born in Italy. So,
Ah.
yeah.
So his parents are Italian.
His dad was Italian.
His dad's Italian.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, or was. His
Cool.
grandfather emigrated here in 1894. His dad was much older, and I think like
Right.
1890s, as a 19-year-old, I think. So anyway, there's a whole thing about like, if they swore off their Italian citizenship, then that like breaks the line, but we're not entirely sure
Like
that
that.
he did. So we're trying to still figure it
Yeah.
out. It'd be pretty cool. And
Fair enough.
David lived in
Yeah.
Italy. He lived and studied in Italy. He has, a lot of contacts there as well. So
Love that.
it'd be really cool.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
It would be very, very cool. And then Meg would be the third wheel, because she'd be stuck in Michigan
Hmm.
No,
with them apples.
with them apples. That's right.
Yeah, she'd be there like crunching apple. Like, how'd you like them apples in Europe? Because I got these apples here in Michigan.
Golden Delicious are great.
I
No,
love that.
Honeycrisp is the best. Honeycrisp, yes. I didn't have much more social media, and then just in terms of news, What Series did drop the thing about Rosamund Pike now starring and EPing for a new Netflix show that's a Silicon Valley thriller called Thumblight. So this leads credence to the fact that Maureen might be making an exit.
I mean, possibly,
But
I have.
shooting schedules are so, like, honestly, I don't even know that I buy that. I mean, I don't know that that would necessarily need to be the thing. She EP'd on Three Body Problem.
Yes,
So
but she's also starring in this.
no, fair. But I'm just saying that when she's Maureening and she's in everything, yes. I mean, we
She's
also know that,
Maureening.
yeah, but we also know that even obviously we are expecting that's going to happen. But like at the same time too, she is going to be backing off a little bit from what she's doing. But are you
Right.
suggesting, Meg, that like end of season 3 exiting?
Perhaps.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, the timeline needs, it all has to be condensed.
Yeah.
I feel like her presence
It does.
needs to feel like a big enough absence that when she returns, it feels like she has been gone a while. And if we're only doing 8 seasons.
Yeah, if we're bookending it, then we have her in for 3, out for 4, back for 3, in for 3, out for 5, back for 2. I don't know.
Wait, your math ain't mathing.
Your math ain't not mathing there at all.
You're
making like 9. You're making.
Oh, I made 10 seasons.
You made 10 seasons, yeah.
In for 3, out for 3, back for 2.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
That
3 and
works.
3 makes 6 plus 2 is 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
In for 3, out for 3, back for 2. Yes. It was originally going to say
that
3.
would work.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Man, it's too hard today.
No, you're good. You're good. Don't worry, Jenn.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I don't think it would be terrible. It does give you that sort of the book connection, and it leaves her free to do other things for a reasonable period of time if she's going to take 2 or 3 seasons out, but still just EP.
Mm-hmm.
Which obviously is would fit with the fact she's now moved away from Prague.
Mm-hmm.
That would also suggest her filming requirements have lessened, at least.
Yeah.
that she could fly in for them if needed. So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense on a lot of places. Gives the story more to the kids than to her.
Yeah.
Which is sensible, because season 3 is when it's going to explode and be a global phenomenon, and then it'd just be like, well, here's your 3 seasons. I've established the kids and the stories. Go have fun for a few seasons. Mom will be back. And help you fix this shit that you create while I'm gone.
We've said that from the very beginning, both in terms of budget, in terms of not having her as a primary cast member for those seasons, in terms of just like expanding the budget and stuff like that. But also, like it's just difficult to get somebody like Rosamund Pike to say, "Hey, will you give up 8 seasons worth of your life?" Which is like, let's look at like 12 years. Like that's just a lot
easy
for her to
12 years,
be completely offline. And she knew going in right off the bat. She knew exactly what was happening with her character, and like where it was going to go. So I think it makes a lot of sense. And I think end of season 3, we need a big drop at the end of season 3. We need a big shocker at the end of season 3. And
we need a something like Red Wedding, don't we? We need
we need a hook.
And the Ned Stark of it all. Like, we're people have gotten comfy because we haven't had our Ned Stark. So it's going to be for non-book readers, it's going to be a much bigger shock, because they're like, but I felt safe, Yeah.
It'd been most of the 3 seasons, and she's fine. I mean, she got stabbed with what looked like in the heart in episode 1, like, and she's good, she's fine. And here we are 3 seasons later, and it's just like,
I'm so excited.
I mean, though, I would not be surprised. I'm sure there will be deaths in season 3 that will, even just get all of us. I think not enough people have died. So,
Fair. I just rewatched the end of season 1, and I was like, well, we're I don't want to spoil anything because we're gonna get there, but whatever. I'm spoiling it. I was like,
fake out.
Still waiting to find out who healed Loyal Wen, but go on.
I still think that was a dream sequence. I think that was just Perrin and Thane. There was no one else. I think that was a setup to terrorize him. Anyway,
ooh, it was a
still on that track
to terrorize Perrin, thinking reality is different than it is.
Yes, because what did we say? Like, we'll get, when we get onto the whole like what's happening with Thane discussion. I have theories that I think like Thane and some other characters are getting merged, and Thane will be more Perrin's nemesis than Matt's nemesis. I think they set up for some different things because of the whole Barney going situation. So I
Fane
think
and Slayer, Fane and
Fane and Slayer, Fane and Slayer. I think they're merging some powers, making Fane a bit more dangerous on the whole. I think Matt will have other troubles. I don't know.
I love it.
Interesting.
But yeah,
I love it all so much.
So, want to hear about Prague?
Yes, tell us all of it.
Yes. It was great fun. So for anyone who doesn't know, and I'm sure most of you do, as I said at the beginning, for 3 years now, we have run MalkieriCon, which is Europe's only Wheel of Time convention. Started for a couple of years here in Manchester, and then last year someone said, hey, you should go around Europe. And I was like, that's a great idea. This was Sober Rob saying this, by the way, folks. And I was like, we should start in Prague, and then we'll go somewhere different like every year. And then a few days later, Realistic Rob kicked in. It was just like, no, we can't go somewhere different every year. Logistically, that's a nightmare unless I have some kind of like travel bus for equipment and things. But Prague sounded amazing. And Realistic Rob was just like, just don't do it in Manchester anymore. Just do it in Prague. So I found a place in Prague, and that's where we'll be from now on. Yay. So I still have a lot of logistical stuff to sort out, but it was amazing. We jumped up about 50% levels of attendance, which kind of blew my mind a little bit.
Wow, that's awesome.
We've had we had about 50 people the first 2 years, and then this year we got up to 75. So
amazing.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. It was, so 50% sounds incredible, like a huge jump. It's 25 people, but it's 25
math
people.
Math is math, percentages count.
Math is exactly. And a lot of first time people who had never been to Europe or never been to a convention, or both, things like that. We had Koala come from Australia, which was insane. Prior to that, the furthest we'd had was someone coming from South Africa the very first year. So we had 2 people come from Canada. We never had anyone come from Canada before. So we got some new countries on the list. I think we're up to about 17 or 18 different countries that
so
have attended,
great.
or nationalities that have attended. So that was pretty insane. And we got a lot of things happen. So there is something for water positivity I want to say for the end. But we did have, Juliet Howland wanted to attend, but couldn't because her holiday clashed.
And
It was
Juliet
literally
Howland is the actor that plays Natty Cawthon. Just stating
Yes,
that.
correct.
Yes.
Thank you, Meg.
What she did was she sent us obviously a nice message about the charity auction we do, which raises money for the charity she supports, Chicken Rescue UK, which rehomes chickens from hatcheries, from egg laying facilities. I forget what they're actually called. At the end of their 16 weeks of life, typically they get sent off to be made into low quality food for people and animals and things of that nature, or just get incinerated, which is really sad. Chicken Rescue UK, with farmers that agree, buy the chickens at a heavily discounted price and get them actual homes so they can live actual lives. So it's a very worthy charity. This year we raised over £1,000.
Oh, that's
Wow.
great.
We've never raised that much money before. We did look at 400, 500, 600 sort of thing. So it was like pretty incredible. The backpack that Trian made, she's our level worker in the fandom.
I did see
saw
this.
that. It was
I did. It's so
gorgeous.
beautiful.
I think it went for like £240 or something insane like that.
Worth it.
Yeah, definitely worth it. So we had some really cool items. But Juliet wrote a song, which was inspired by filming the lantern scenes from season 1. The words that Marin says when they come back from doing it about, cheer up, whatever, people need to come back for a party. And the words that Tam says prior to Ranch. She was really inspired to write a song about it called Bring Them Home. Absolutely beautiful song, made me cry. I was the 4th person to ever hear it. Obviously, she wrote it, someone produced it with her, and then she shared it with her partner, and then she shared it with me. And then the next time it got played was for everyone who attended. And it was really, really something. So that was the world exclusive we did. It's not officially with Amazon. I added the images to it that we played on, that I put on screen. It was just, the lanterns and things like that. So it was purely that, but she's going to release it, I think, in October, general release, so people can go and enjoy that. It's very, 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 very moving song. And then at the end, well, actually, I think it was probably late afternoon on the Friday, Michael Livingston was like, hey, so obviously I'm not there because he wanted to come. He's just like, but we're working on something really, really cool that I think what fans would like. Perhaps I could, send you the information and you read it out, or I record a video, or maybe I can zoom in or something. And I was like, already know the sound's not working. So Zoom, you won't be able to hear us very well. Perhaps can you record a video? And he's like, yeah, I can do that. Like, what timings are we on? I was like, for you it'd be about 6 a.m. So probably not ready for tomorrow. He's like, no. He's like, I can do something for Sunday. I was like, can you do it by, I can't remember what time it was, for like 1 o'clock Sunday. So he's like, yeah. So Saturday afternoon I get this video. And basically many, many years ago, which sounds really sad to say, Harriet donated a huge chunk of Robert Jordan's personal library to the Citadel, so that it could be auctioned off to fund sponsorships for students to go and get their degrees from the Citadel, which, folks, if you're not aware of, is where Robert Jordan went to school and where Michael Livingston teaches as well. They finally organized that, and they are doing that on September 26th, auctioning off Robert Jordan's personal library. We're talking first editions, rare leatherbacks, like different languages, first drafts, second drafts, like literal books that are one of a kind, cannot be found anywhere else and will never be found anywhere else again, will be up for auction on September 26th. So that was really, really exciting. And then it was, the funniest bit about it was Michael's like, I'm going to be a QR code on the screen so you can get the information for the auction. And then obviously I released the video and things like that. So you can get the information now and know where you can go to bid on September 26th. And it appeared full screen at the end. And I just let the video stop because it stops with just the QR screen. And I was watching it. I'd looked a little bit at some people in the audience and they're all just like, wow, things like that. And then I turn to the audience, knowing that I'm leaving it on the screen. And I swear 70 people were stood up with their phones open, taking a QR screen.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And 20 seconds later, I think Neve had put the link that it comes to a website. Obviously, put the link in the chat of the Discord server for the convention. Like it was just it's there. I was like, okay, this is cool. I had to tell Michael. I was like, dude, I just turned around from the projection, and there were 70 odd people in the room in closing ceremonies just scanning the screen to go look, and I just
That's amazing.
I just gave them a moment, and I was like, cool, right? And everyone was just like, yeah. So it was very, very sweet. So we got some really cool things like that happen.
Awesome.
But yeah, the convention was it was so much fun. We have never done like the same timescales as the other conventions, because in Manchester I booked out a business hotel. So their business was heavy Monday to Friday. No one ever booked the place Saturday and Sunday, so it was much cheaper to book Friday space. Was doubled the cost of the convention.
Wow.
Like it would, yeah. That's how in demand they were for Fridays. So we did all day Saturday, all day Sunday. It can't finish at like 5 p.m. Sunday type thing. This year, I was a hotel where they just there's always something going on. So it did make a difference. So we had setup time and all that sort of stuff, and we did Friday afternoon, all day Saturday, Sunday to lunchtime ish. So it was fun to do that. We split the tracks on Saturday, which people loved and hated at the same time.
Yes, of course.
You're making me choose panels. I was like, yep. Welcome. I can't entertain 75 people in a single room with a single set of panels all day long. You need some variety.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. Obviously we had challenges with tech, but people were really good about that. It was just, the whole thing was hilarious. Like we had Guy Roberts play Uno against Kat, who cosplays as Uno. That was hilarious.
And
spoiler
Kat won.
alert, Uno won.
Yeah.
Yes, Kat won.
Yes.
The real Uno.
Spoiler alert, Uno won.
The real Uno. And then we interviewed Guy and got people to ask some questions. We had just so much fun. A couple of the highlights. Sulan put together the Hunt for the Horn. So we've done a scavenger hunt in previous years. And the concept behind the scavenger hunt was to get something in for Friday night for people who happen to be around, but I don't have a con space to do things. So I could put a table somewhere for registration near the con space. There was like a tiny lobby area outside of it downstairs. So the idea was we would do an early registration. People would get a clue to a couple of spots or a spot. There was various spots you could start at. And then there would people at that location would give a clue, so like a different location, and you'd go through a couple of locations and end up at a pub where people would just hang out and have drinks for the night. So it was like a unofficial social, unofficial like part of the convention.
Yeah, I saw some photos of like a billion of you in a bar. Like it was a huge crowd.
What from the Prague?
Yeah, I don't know if Kat posted it or somebody
So that
else,
was like about 30 people went out for Trian's birthday, although Trian's birthday isn't for a week or so.
Nice.
Trian wanted to go to Prague for their birthday, and then I was like, hey, we're going to Prague. So it kind of like worked out together. So they all went off for that. I was not ready to people at that stage, so I did not go with the group. Instead, myself, Leia, who was trying to stay up all day because of travel, Jess and Dan, Jessica's Design and Random Noman, and I think Bryant, Lawyer's Library, we went to and Sulan as well. We went to a train bar where the entire place is filled with model trains.
No, I did
go
not
around on
see
tracks.
Amazing.
Yeah. So the whole building has like model trains, like tracks everywhere, and you like have to walk over it on like giant steps to get around the models and stuff. And you sit at your table or along a big bench, depending on what you get put on, and you place your order, and your order is delivered to you on the trains. The trains come along and they stop in front of you, or they pull onto your table or whatever it is, and they stay there for 15 seconds, and you can grab your food and your drinks, put back your empty glasses, whatever it might be, and then the train carries on or backs out and goes on the track.
You feel rushed in this whole 15-second period?
Yeah, because obviously you want to film it as well. You want to film it and take pictures, but then someone's got like, who's taking the food? Who's grabbing this? Because it will just after 15 seconds back the fuck up and go. So yeah, it's gone. So we went to there, and it was for Prague, it was pricey. It wasn't, it's a gimmick thing. It was nice enough food. There was nothing wrong with it, and the service was lovely. It was a fun experience. That's what you're kind of paying for. So we did that. But yeah, loads of people went to a place called Fat Cats for Trian's birthday. And Trian actually made a carry bag for the Cards Against Humanity game
Oh, I saw
Oh,
that.
nice.
It's
Koala made. Yeah,
beautiful.
I missed
I
that
thought that
one.
must be what that was,
yeah.
that she made it. Or
So
that they made it, yeah.
holds a big leather, holds the full set of big leather bag for that.
Oh,
So that was, Koala was crying for that.
yeah.
So yes, that was some of the stuff that people got up to on that was the Thursday night. Yeah, that was the Thursday night, I think. But yeah, there was some impromptu things that happened, which were just wonderful. So Thirsty came along, Thirsty the clown,
Nice.
and
Yeah.
he was just like, "Hey Rob, like he was on the list to do parodies. So the last parody of one of the rooms on Saturday, he held a parody contest with Scout and Koala,
Oh,
and full regalia.
yes.
Well,
I
no,
think I saw
maybe
a
full. It
picture of
was
that too with the balloons. Yes.
Yeah, the bloobs were out. It was full
Yeah.
regalia later on. That was like halfway sort of thing. That was like low key. That were just thirsty low key, and then there was later on. It was like full thirsty.
Full first.
Yeah, yeah. So he did like a practice run on the Friday night, hanging out in the lobby space of that, and people did some sing-alongs and stuff. I ended up going with some friends to a whiskey bar, which was insane. Absolutely ridiculous. This like private little whiskey bar thing that someone knew about, and we went and had an amazing time. And they're playing instruments, and just hilarious stuff. The guy who owns the place, Hans, was he's like, I don't like no people, but I run a bar, or something like that. He was. He's like, try this whiskey. Like, they basically sold whiskey. They had one stout on tap, and then you could buy like sodas, and that was it.
Oh, sounds
So we just drank
amazing.
little whiskeys all
Ugh,
night, and he's telling
sounds
us like millions of details. So I ended up doing that on Friday night, which was pretty insane. But yeah, Thursday did that. Friday night did a sing along, and then Saturday night did like a proper one, like in the con space afterwards, and people went pretty hard at that. Memo, bless her, was not really seen much on Sunday, shall we say? Memo was struggling on Sunday morning. Bless her. So that we had a couple of impromptu things like that, which were just a lot of fun. But two things happened that worked out even better than I imagined. Firstly, because obviously Guy was coming, we were like, we'll do a signing and get a photograph and stuff. We have I'm very lucky, Laura, who's come every year since, and now brings her partner Tony. They are professional photographers. So they photograph the convention for us, and then they process them, and I put some on the site and things like that, and promotional material, and advertise that they do it for us, and blah 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 and all that sort of stuff. I arranged so they could take professional photos of people with Guy, and I was like, loads of people are going to buy these, or no one's going to buy them. Like, I don't know how it's going to be. Like, some people will care, some people won't care, some people have seen Guy at other conventions, some people won't. I was like, I'll put it up and see what happens. Between getting signatures of things and photos, we probably had about 10 people. So I put aside an hour during the big 2-hour lunch break on Saturday, because Memo was hosting a drawing class as well, a paid drawing class that people go to.
Awesome.
Which people absolutely adored. I think she had space for 10, and I think we got 7 or 8 people doing it in the end. It was really, people absolutely loved that. Serene finished her chibi finally that she's been working on for about 2 years. So yeah, and it's very, very cute. But because we only had like 10 people, and Laura and Tony were still just like tweaking some of the setup, I just like, hey, everyone just come in and hang out for a second. And, Guy just naturally being Guy, I was just like, just hang out. Like, we'll they're going to finish setting up, and then it's only 10 people. I think it was like 6 of them got signatures, 6 or 7 of them got a photo. Obviously there was some that got both, and like, we'll just run through some photos, and then we'll run through getting some things signed, and we'll just have some fun. But like, there's no rush, so just hang out. And Guy's like, perfect. And they just all sat there with each other, and they got to like hang out very like one-on-one with Guy, basically ask him whatever questions he wants. He's telling stories, nothing about season 3, obviously. He's just like things that, silly things from happening on set, and, stuff from earlier seasons that he can share that's not going to get anybody in trouble, type of thing.
Yeah.
And I just, like, Laura and Tony finished, and I'd sort of been half watching them, half watching Guy. And, it's like, 15 minutes in or something, they're ready. And I turned to them and was just like, I'm just gonna just let them carry on. Like, what do you reckon? Start about 1:30, and then, because I didn't want to interrupt. And they were like, that's perfect, because there's like 6 people for photos, and so plenty of time type thing. And an event that I wasn't sure how it was going to go. Like when I started, when I said to Guy, hey, you okay if we do this? I was like, I could be maxing out numbers, and it could be a queue of people to get things done. It could be nobody wants it. It could be somewhere in the middle. I don't know how it's going to be, depending on, if it's 5 people, is it worth it? Is it going to be something intimate? If it's 30 people, is it, like, what stage has become too big that has to be like in signature out, like a Comic-Con type thing? It became just really beautiful, like an actual hangout session. And
which is
it
really what
just
all
made me,
anybody wants when they want those. Like, they don't want to.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, a picture and an autograph is great. What you really want to do is just like have a moment of connection. It's so sweet. It's
yes,
so fantastic.
it really was.
It's perfect.
And I made the decision there and then, watching that with Tony and Laura sat next to me. This is in my head, I'm thinking it, but I sat there and watched it. I was like, I don't care who we have. I don't care if, Rosamund, Rafe, anybody. We'll do this every time we have a special guest, or a guest of honor type thing, or, with a range of people if it's suitable. And it will be a maximum of 10 people. And, they can get a signature or a photo or both or whatever type thing. I'll figure that out. And it will be a, like a little get together and hang out, because Guy loved that. They love that. And to be honest, I'm sure Laura and Tony thought the same way. 3 of us just sort of sat there and watched the group of them chatting away. And I mean, at one point, Guy turned around and looked at us, and he was like, do you need us? I was like, no, you carry on. This is lovely. We're enjoying listening to your stories.
Yeah.
It was a very beautiful thing to watch. A fan with fans. They were fangirling over him. He's loving being able to talk about real-time stuff, without being pressured. He's not on camera. He's not being recorded. Not that those things phase him, but,
Right.
It was a very authentic moment.
Yeah.
And it was really, really, really warming for me. I love that. So yeah, that was, in fact, that was so nice. I can't remember what the other thing was now that I was going to talk about. Oh, the costume contest. Okay.
Which I did watch. Again, not live, because I thought I was getting it live and I had all the time wrong.
Oh, no. Yeah, so the sound did not work great on the costume contest. I'm actually going to download that video. I think I'm going to play music over it or something. And I might re-narrate. I've got the list of all the things I said, so I might re-narrate over the top of some form of music or something like that. And put in like cheers or something. I don't know. It was very, very entertaining. So what was great about this was at one point, and originally I was going to have Guy come and be a judge. At one point, when I had the whole thing with Rob and Haley coming, which are part of Sharon's team, the costume, I can't remember her full title now. The person in charge of costumes for the show.
Yeah.
Hopefully have them come. I was like, cool, I'm going to have 3 celebs judging the costume contest. It then almost very quickly became I had no one. Because Guy almost had to go. Yeah, Guy had to, long story short, he had to go to a memorial on the Saturday. So he almost was going to do the meet and greet and then disappear almost. But things turned around, and he sort of went for a while and then came back and then went again type thing. So what was really great about it was we had this weird thing happen, like, in the first year, Trian and Chris, which is Trian's friend, they did like a joint, like a Aes Sedai water type situation. Although Trian was an unconventional Aes Sedai, and she was out looking for a water, or was meant to go to the Borderlands, and was in Belon drinking one night prior to leaving for the Borderlands. And woke up in the morning after an excessive night in drinking and found out that she bonded Chris as her water instead, and was like stuck. So they told this weird story.
It's the Randland version of Vegas, and like getting Elvis to marry you at the drive-thru.
Absolutely. There was this weird story that they told about it, and people died. People like, this was actually there. So I'm reading it out, and because they wanted to explain their cosplay, and everyone had like a name, and I was like, please welcome, Lanthir, or this person or that person, or a yellow sister, whatever. And that inspired some people last year. And I'd say about 3/4 of the people turned up with a story.
Oh, I love
for
it.
their cosplay. Hmm.
Fun.
And I was just like, this is cool because everyone does like some form of costume parade or contest or cosplay thing or something. And I was like, but the stories, you don't get that normally,
Mhm.
especially because I'm up there narrating it or whatever it might be. So we now tell people they have to do that. Well, they got a little bit more this year because apparently now they have music choices. Yeah. So Cass and Deanna wanted Al Nito, how we pronounce it,
Yeah.
because they did a Moraine and Swan cosplay, including
Mm.
the Oath Rod.
Yes, I
I didn't
saw
see the oath
They
that.
rod, but I did see those. Yeah.
they
Mhm.
Mhm.
reenacted
Yeah.
the Oath Rod scene,
Yeah,
which was pretty
it was
impressive.
amazing.
Were they the
Yeah, but
fourth
they were
age
Thirsty,
looking Moraine and Swan?
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
fourth
yeah,
age
which was
ones, yeah.
great. It was really
It
cool.
was
Or first
stunning,
stage or
stunning
whatever.
version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We talked Thirsty into doing it. Thirsty wasn't going to do anything, and then we were like, "No, you should do like Lanthea because Matt Hatch is here, and then like make him like really into you type thing. You could have like you need like music. It would be really. It's just like maybe I could have some kind of wedding march." And he's like, "How long do I have before the costume contest?" I was like, "You've got 3.5 hours," and he's like, that
Got
might be
it.
enough time to get into makeup, because it takes him 2 or 3 hours to get into makeup.
Sure, for
He's
sure.
a perfectionist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he spent time looking for music and came on his mouth here. And what did he play? Sex on Fire.
Oh my god.
But he
Amazing.
needed me to like. He's like, we need like a. I want us like to like start a little later in because otherwise, it's got a very long intro. It's like 40 seconds long or something.
Yeah.
So we played it about 25 seconds in, so he's got time to walk around a little bit.
Mhm.
But he like made me like say a certain piece, and he's like, right in like the brackets and the message, it was like, and then like fan opens, and then I finished saying what I was saying type things. There was like dramatic pause and stuff, and he's there like fanning himself in front of the innkeeper, and Matt's cheering away and stuff. Um,
Amazing.
so that was really, really good. And then Kat and Mike, oh my god, they did this whole Trolloc hunting scene of Zumash the
Mm.
Trolloc. Mike had this incredible outfit. They
Mike looked
3D printed.
incredible.
I saw
Oh,
that.
he
That
was
was
on
insane.
stilts.
Yeah.
There was a fight
Yeah.
scene. There was a baby fade. It was absolutely insane. They won best overall, obviously. Mike was sweating in that outfit, I
I'm
tell you.
sure.
Yeah.
Well,
But
and
Mike's not.
I was like, "Mike's tall. He's gotta have stilts."
Mhm.
Like, he's not that tall. Yeah, 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 yeah.
He was wearing stilts. He must have been about, I don't know, with the horns and that, maybe 8 feet tall,
Mm.
maybe even
Incredible.
tall. Like he would have been, yeah, he was
Wow.
super tall in these stilts. And they had like a full fight scene and everything. It was absolutely incredible. Obviously, Guy managed to come back for that. Rob Goodwin, who is the leather maker for
Mhm.
the show, who had come for the costume panel, which was great. Thank you again to Rob Haley for the stuff they put together and for Sharon for helping them with mood boards and things and what they were going to discuss. Um, he'd never been to a convention. He'd never been invited to be a guest or anything like that. So he's had fun doing all of that stuff. He absolutely adored getting to meet people. He came for the panel, hung around for about half an hour, and then he had to go for stuff. He's coming back home to the UK. But he's like, "What time is the costume contest? I'll come back." And I was like, "Oh, 7 on the dot because we need to get Guy out the door by 8 so he
Mhm.
can, go to his memorial." And he's like, "I'll be back." And he came back and he did that, and he was stunned. I think Guy's been to like this is his third convention, so he's seen some
Mhm.
costume stuff or whatever. But
Mhm.
Rob was just absolutely stunned. I was like, Rob, how was this? Have you ever seen anything like this? He's like, no, that was insane, dude. Like, oh my god. And that was a really, really cute moment. But I was like, what have I done with the costume contest? I'm gonna have to have like an application form
Yeah,
with
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
what's your name? What's your story? Do you
Your
Yes,
have a music
soundtrack.
choice? Your
yes.
soundtrack? Give me a timestamp, and I'm just
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
need like a tech assistant just to run music,
Yes.
Yeah.
you know. And I was like, the growth of some of the things we do at the convention, just like every year they find a way to just give me more.
To one up
It's
it.
just
Yeah.
beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah, to one up it. And
Mhm.
yeah, that was pretty incredible. Um They're just I do have one thing for water positivity, which I will share at the end. But one sort of last thing, because I could talk for hours about things, like the mental health panel people raved about. I still need to go back and watch that because I was running the panel in the other room. Looney Theories was hilarious. Matt was signing coasters from this like Czech beer company where the guy on the coaster looks a little bit like Matt
Oh,
Hatch.
I did see
So
pictures of that too.
he
Yeah.
signed the Czech coasters and gave them away for people who
Yeah.
made him laugh about the theories we came up with. So Matt was on board with that. 4 people. So we did Team Dusty Wheel, or Team Dusty Fold as it got renamed, versus Team Dragon Mountain and the Meme Off. So I had Matt Hatch and Melindra for Team Dusty Fold, and then I had Tom DeSimone and Mike, who Mike Cat and Mike Zumash the Trolloc, on the for Team Dragon Mount. Not a single one of them had ever done meme off before, like made memes. None of them were meme makers. I like asked them all in advance. I'm like, can you do this? I will guide you through it. It's one of those panels where it takes like 10 minutes to get going, but once it gets going, it's amazing because it needs creative juices. They were like, yeah, okay, on board for this. And by the end of it, Innkeeper's making memes about spanking Lanthier. Like
bringing out the dirtiness in the innkeeper, who's normally so squeaky
the innkeeper got frisky. In fact, now we've said this, I might need to have a go look. So yeah, it's the Drake meme.
Yes,
and, I saw that one. Like, yeah.
Spank me land. No, thank you. Spank me Lanthier. Yes, please. And that was the innkeeper question. I was like, my God.
I love it.
So it was just brilliant. And
I like pushing the innkeeper to that place. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very, very good. So like there was things like that. I could talk about all the panels. They were just absolutely amazing. But I had a few people, and I'm not going to name names because I don't want to put pressure on anybody or feel like someone's going to call them out for it or something. But we had a number of people come over from America who have never been to Europe, to MalkieriCon, things like that. We had a lot of new people this year in that respect, people that go to the other conventions on a regular basis. And I had multiple of them come to me and say, and it's not just because it's in Prague, but obviously that does help. They said they had such a great time in Prague at the convention. They would prefer to come to MalkieriCon over going to the other conventions that they go to in America.
Oh, wow.
Like they would skip JordanCon or WhatCon to go to MalkieriCon instead. And for me, that was pretty incredible. And, and for not all of them, like, because a couple of them are like, it's $200 difference.
Right.
I could go to WhatCon or JordanCon because they're West Coast.
Yeah.
And it the price difference is almost the same.
Yeah. For me to go to JordanCon, I might as well just get a ticket to Prague. Like it's
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like for one or two of them, that was, a huge selling point. And they were just like, I could go hang out in, and again, I'm not knocking WhatCon at all. Like that's not what I'm doing. They're like, I can hang out in Columbus or I can hang out in Prague.
True. There's a little bit more to do, like outside of the con.
Yeah. Like I don't, for anyone only listening and not watching the video, I'm doing like the scale thing where it's like, which way do I go? Like, like
no shade on Columbus.
No shade in Columbus,
Go blue.
Go blue. Michiganders against Ohio.
So some of them that, and I understand that, but a couple of them were like, I would just prefer this.
Yeah.
And someone actually said like, I am just not doing American conventions now. I will save my money and I will come to Prague instead. And I'm like, okay. I'm not sure I've really processed some of those things.
I want to come so bad.
Yeah,
I would love
change the date. Just a little.
No, because Meg, I was like, Meg, maybe if we did like the last weekend in August, and you were like, nah, there's like teacher training shit, I was like,
I mean, well, no, I mean, no. So the teacher training stuff it's usually the Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's possible that I might be able to make it if it's early enough. It's possible.
If it's early enough. I mean,
and if I have the money.
Around, obviously.
Yeah, don't
so the two choices,
brokies.
The two choices for next year would be Friday 29th to the 31st of August.
I can almost guarantee it's not going to be next year because we're trying to go to Hawaii next summer, and that's going to be expensive.
Well, I'm not looking further ahead than that, so we'll have to have more discussions next year.
Yes, okay. we'll come back to that. Wait, speaking of flying places, I do have to really just briefly just drop this in there. Megan, it didn't even occur to me when I was like, oh, I don't know. I just saw something like I was looking at the Taylor things while you were talking about it. And I was like, I don't know, 8 hours ago, he posted this picture. Okay, I did just look for the flight number and I'm debating about getting in my car and driving to LAX because
You creepy.
super creepy. But I assume Rafe is flying with him.
You're
And
so creepy.
And I'm working on my passport. I got to figure out how I can work in Prague.
Run away! You have a stalker.
I mean, Prague is in the European Union, so if you have an Italian passport, you can work.
No,
in
I
Prague.
know. That's part of why I've been working on it. Because we both would love to work over there and work more easily over there for sure. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe Louise can hook me up with a Danish passport.
I thought you had to leave because of the Emmys. I didn't realize you had a hot out.
I did, but now I'm like, oh, he's good. What if they go to all the Emmy parties when they get in? They don't get in. I mean, I'm not gonna.
Maybe they're here for Emmy parties. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh, they're getting in late. They left late from London.
Are the Emmys pre-recorded? I assume.
No, they're live here.
They're live.
Yeah.
Ooh, ballsy.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
Actually, and Dan Levy and Eugene Levy are hosting tonight.
Oh, that's right.
That is
They're hosting. Yeah.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I would watch just for them.
Yeah, I know. I could have gone.
You should have gone.
It's really expensive.
We could have done.
It's so it's such an expensive ticket. I mean, when I was nominated, well, actually, we didn't have it because it was.
Whoa! Just back that up a little bit. You've been nominated for an Emmy.
I have. I wasn't trying to
talked about this.
Maybe we. I don't know.
Did I miss this? How did I miss this?
Anyway, it is. But it was
You're an Emmy nominated. What, like writer?
I'm an Emmy nominated writer, but for a song. So the lyricist at this point, writer. But yes,
I totally missed the Emmy part of that for some reason. I don't know why. I do remember you saying about a song. Yeah.
Yes, but even then you have to buy your own ticket. Like you have to. So
what?
Yeah, but usually if you're nominated like with Nickelodeon or with Disney or with whomever, like usually the company will buy your ticket. But when I accompanied David when he was nominated at Nickelodeon, I had to buy my own ticket, and that was just the Children's and Family Emmys, and I think it was like $400 or $500, which was pretty cheap. Yeah. Because the primetime Emmys, like if I wanted to buy myself a ticket to tonight, I think it starts at $1,200, but it might even be more than that. $1,700. Yeah. Last week like last week was a Creative Arts Emmys, so the costuming was done last week. But
which we're shitting on because they didn't pick Sharon.
I cannot even. I can't.
I know.
How was Echo nominated over Wheel of Time? I don't understand.
Some of the costuming in Echo was really beautiful, but the thing is, like, if you're
costuming in Wheel of Time was beautiful.
That's true. I mean, Wheel of Time. There's no question. Wheel of Time should have been nominated for everything. I don't want to diss anybody who got nominated, but Wheel of Time, it is extraordinary. The costuming is extraordinary, and it clearly is just being overlooked and wasn't promoted well, which is part of it.
Justice for Sharon Gillan.
Mm-hmm. But if you're in animation, there's a category tonight for Best Animated Show, but Best Animated Writing, I think, was on Saturday of last week, and then on Sunday of last week was Best Animated voice acting maybe, or other things. So anyway, or like design. If you're in animation, potentially you're going to be up there 3 different nights, and you have to buy a ticket for every it's so ridiculous. It's really
I can't believe that many different Emmy shows. Like,
yeah. Well, that's just prime time. Prime time, there's 3 nights. Last week was Creative Arts, but it's prime time. Tonight is like regular prime time, like the big categories that's going to be aired. But then there's also the Children and Families Emmys, which are in December. There's the Daytime Emmys, which are because Children and Family used to be part of Daytime, and then I think there's a third. I don't know. It's really nuts.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
that is nuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
well, I know you have to go for the Emmy of stalking Rafe.
One or the other.
One or the other. I'm gonna get off the phone now and
Rafe is like, even if she gets her EU, we are not hiring this creeper. That's what's happening right now.
Taylor, hire the woman, please.
Hey, he posted it. He posted his flight information. I mean, come on. What does he want us to do? Not look it
What?
up?
He's a lunatic. He
He
posted the
did.
actual flight
That's how
information.
I
I
found
thought
it.
you just
No, he just
Oh,
No.
posted the time and what airport he was leaving and what airport he was
that's
going
enough
to,
No, no,
information.
and
no,
you
no,
can
That's
no.
not
find
difficult to
it
No,
work
from
out.
there.
he posted a picture of the sign at the airport that says to
With
Los
the flight
Angeles with the flight number. I mean, it's not like I'm stalking hard
Dude.
here, and I
Dude,
could if I wanted
that's,
to.
like, so easy. Yeah,
Oh,
that's ridiculous.
I
Oh my
mean,
god.
here,
Taylor,
it's just
like,
here,
fail,
Let
dude.
this be a warning to you. Oh my god, you creep. You creeper. Okay,
He's
so
over
for
no,
those
he's
no,
over
of you that aren't
Michigan.
watching,
he's
she's
over
showing a picture
Michigan.
of her
He's over
phone,
Michigan right
and it's
now.
showing the flight path and where they're located. Wait, where are they located right now,
He's over
Jenn?
They're
Michigan.
basically over Michigan.
Go outside
That
and
looks
wave,
like they're over
Megan.
Michigan.
He's just past you. He's actually in
I don't
Wisconsin
know.
now. They're in Wisconsin. He's over Madison. Anybody in
That's
Madison
amazing.
listening in a week about something that happened a long time ago, go outside and wave.
There you go.
Anyway,
Um,
hey, he put it up there. It's not my
yeah,
fault.
that's his own fault, yes.
Yeah.
Next time I see
It
him, I'll
is
be like, "Dude,
possible. Maybe he flew out yesterday and he just posted the picture today. So he's trolling all of us who are like going to go to the LAX right now. And he's like, I
I
came
mean,
in a
that
day
would be
ago.
funny."
Yeah.
Maybe that's like the current rule, like post everything 24 hours later,
Right.
except
Yeah.
stories. Obviously, stories are different, but like post
Right.
24 hours later, and
Right.
then, you just, beat Kikiri's tracker that she's got on everybody. So,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which I'm trying to beat
Right.
now.
Yes.
Yeah, you're doing great on Meg, don't worry. So this is not at all like the time that I went to London and then Raga came to Manchester. That was funny. So I know you do have to go, Jen. You want
Yes.
to go and watch that. So maybe we don't do our game.
Yeah, we can put it off
Which
till
I
next week.
did bring a surprise. We can save the surprise for next week.
Okay, great.
Okay, let's save the surprise next week. I
All
like
right.
that.
All right.
Who's the third wheel? We haven't really said anyone's the third wheel this week.
You're
have
the
we?
third
We
wheel
ended up
because
just
you got
saying-
to go /hosted/ put it all together. I don't
For
know. I think
MalkieriCon.
Megan or
Yeah.
Megan and I are both third wheels because we didn't get to go.
Yeah.
Because you didn't get to go. Okay,
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
All right. Do you know what it is? Someone said to me. So I had a few things happen. Like during the convention, people like, Rob, have you taken any breaks or anything? I was like, no. I got like an hour between main session and or the main just programming full stop, and then the costume contest. I had like an hour to sit down with a drink, then out in the garden, this beautiful garden, the hotel. And I didn't really stop until the boat ride Sunday night, which again is apparently a new tradition, which I've not told you about tonight. So, Melindra decided to book a boat ride with a boat tour for an hour on the Sunday night at 9:00 that came with Prosecco, and then about 30 people hopped on board and booked it with us. Maybe it wasn't Melindra who, someone decided to do it. Maybe Becky. I don't know. And then like 30 people hopped on board with the idea, and we took over the front third of this sightseeing boat, and we just cruised around Prague for an hour. So that's now like an unofficial Sunday night tradition, apparently, because we're all going to do that next year and do it early so we can fill the boat with just Wheel of Time people.
Sure.
But yeah, I did not take any breaks. I did not eat properly because I was just doing stuff constantly. It's a working weekend for me.
Yeah.
It's like people are like, oh, you're having a good time. I'm like, I am, because everyone else is enjoying it.
Yeah.
That makes it a good time for me, but I am going nonstop. Even when panels are on and I'm not in them, I'm still doing something for the convention. There's certain components of closing ceremonies that I can't do until I can't put in the numbers for the charity auction and who won what, because we give them out, come pick up your prize that you've bid on and won type thing.
Yeah.
I can't put that information in closing ceremonies until the auction finishes, and I let that run as long as possible so people, hopefully we can raise more money, things like that. So like even mid-afternoon when I'm not doing anything, technically for like panels and stuff, I'm still working on things to for later on and such. So when I got back to work, people were like, "Did you have a good time?" I was like, "Yeah, it was amazing. There's this, there's that." Like I had this photo of Guy, which is just insane, and other things that happened. People said this, blah blah. And they were like, "You've lost weight, Rob." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I didn't eat, so."
I kind of forgot to put food in my face.
So like, it's like I got to go to the convention, yes, because it's my working weekend.
Yeah.
I go and like I host, I'm running everything, everything's coming through me basically. It was worse this year than usual because it was Becky and I basically with Dan and Jess run registration, and I had Laura and Tony. Laura and Tony are great. I just like photographing as you go ham, coordinate for the meet and greet. Otherwise, I left them to it type thing because they were just epic for that. But yeah, it was especially everything coming through me this year. So I didn't really eat much. We went out Friday night to the whiskey bar, and I think I'd had breakfast and I'd snacked on snacks, which leads me to the water positivity. So traditions at MalkieriCon. Something that happened, and I think this is me making honey cakes the first year. So the very first year of MalkieriCon, I made honey cupcakes for everyone who came. I spent hours on the Thursday night making them, which Bain and Sheard Grace can attest to because she was there helping me make them, watching me melt them in a pot and then bake them. So I did that, and then people talked about like treats from different countries and things, and a couple of people had brought things just naturally anyway. So the second year, a lot of people brought things, and people were just like sharing snacks and things like that. So I had like a little space on the table, people could put things down. This year, so many people brought different snacks. It was insane. We had like a ridiculous amount of American candy. We had stuff from Australia. We had stuff from all around Europe, German candies, English candies. There was like some Swedish things. There was just every country, someone had brought something. Zareel sent out her friend the morning she flew. So Thursday she flew. Before she flew, her friend went to like a primo place for fresh baklava, and she brought 2 boxes of fresh baklava from Israel. Like it was like made that morning type fresh. I was like, holy shit. The snack exchange, the snack table, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I'm going to think of a name for it. There was just so much. It overflowed tables. Like I'm going to have like 2 tables for it next year because everyone's just bringing things. That someone brought rum. Someone brought like elderflower liqueur they'd made. And, it was insane what people were bringing. The generosity to like share treats and things. Someone made a cake. Kiku lady who lives in Prague, she made a fig cake, that was cuttable into squares and brought that, and there was a giant cake just there, so that was my lunch Wednesday, and that was my lunch and dinner on the Friday, before I then went out and drank whiskey all night long.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting. So that was a huge. This is very watch related water positivity this week, but that was the generosity there of people was immense, to the point where I have to plan for it next year, I think. But the other thing that I kind of expected but still surprised me was people bring things for registration. So the first year at registration, I had like a little mini swag bag, which was like, here's your bingo card, and like, here's the cupcake and a t-shirt. And we had like the headband that Lan wears, can't remember now, Hodoris. Anna made Hodoris for everyone to wear the first year. So there was like little odds and ends in this little tiny paper gift bag type thing. And then the second year we did still have that, but there was like little pin badges and things like that instead. But people brought some stuff for the table. They're like, oh, I've brought like these little, I can't remember what it was. There was like some form of stickers. There we go. John brought a whole bunch of stickers. Someone else brought some form of a pin. I can't remember. So again, there was like extra things at the table, and we didn't quite do the same level of swag bag the second year. This year, multiple people told me they were bringing things. And whilst it's all like, oh, bringing things is nice, I was just like, I feel like I don't need to do anything for registration beyond the usual, here's your badge, lanyard, here's some pronoun stickers. Yeah. And I knew I had ribbons to give out. So I was just like, that's all we're going to be out, because I have to like bring everything with me. So I'm like bringing, 100 badges weighs a lot, 100 lanyards weighs a lot, sort of thing. I didn't bring 100 of everything, but I had enough to do for everyone. Like my suitcase was full, 3/4 full of stuff for the convention. I was like, I can't just keep adding things to it. So I'm like, I'm just going to have to roll with it. Well, the amount of things people brought, we had ribbons, we had bear stickers, I mean like bears as in bears. We had Nils, the 3D printing genius, who printed a 3D hero, a 3D horn.
I saw his
friend.
Yeah, I saw it.
His friend took a 2D image of the horn, made him a 3D map. He printed it, painted it. It's got the etching, the bubbles, the everything. It even squeaks when you blow into it. And I mean like a squeaky toilet. Could not get Guy to blow it to save my life. He knew me too well. He's like, this is a trick. It's like, damn you, Guy, you should have blown this. like he made discs, little like discs, and he made like clip-on paperclip type thing that would feed through the disc. You then feed it through your lanyard, and the disc said different things from like give me a bubble wave, like I'm in my little bubble, or I'll give you a wave type thing, or I'm a high fiver, a fist bumper, or a hugs please. These little discs you could wear to not. I mean, we had pronoun stickers and things like that as well. But you could advertise your level of comfort of interacting with people through this little 3D printed disc. And, there was, I don't know, 30 of each of those, and the hug ones disappeared in about 2 seconds flat.
Right.
Yeah. We're
So
huggers.
there was that. Yeah, we are huggers. There was, I can't remember. There was like 3 or 4 other things people brought for registration. And Dan and Jess started off with like, here's your badge, T-shirt if you pre-purchased one. There's your pronoun sticker. Here's a ribbon, and don't forget to pick up your bingo card, because we play bingo a part of opening ceremonies. It sounds weird, but trust me, it's hilarious, and people just mingle like crazy, and then we give a prize away. And I came back 30 minutes later, but how's it going? Because, like registration is it's first time Dan and Jess, not for Jess.
Yeah.
Jess does it.
Yeah,
Done it at
Jess
WhatCon,
is
but
amazing. Yeah.
it's like it was a little different. What she normally does is welcome wagon. She doesn't have to manage the badges and like have you actually bought and stuff like that. So she was doing everything with Dan. And I popped back. I was like, how's it going? Everything all right? And there was just, the table was just crammed full of things. And she's like, oh yeah, look, we've got all this. She's like, so here's your badge, and here's this, and there's a ribbon if you want, and there's a pronoun sticker, and there's your level of comfort here, and there's this thing, and there's that thing, and don't forget your bingo card. And I'm just like, people are picking up like 10 things at this table or something stupid.
That's so great.
Again, people just brought so many gifts for people to have. There were there's magnets, there were chicken stickers, chicken fridge magnets as well type thing.
Like
I got one for
hens,
Juliet. It's reminding me of
You need to send
hens.
some of those to Juliet. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. There was like this like funky looking hen, and there was like a stack of books, and it was like, only in Malkier or something like that, a hashtag type thing, and then chickens and something. And it was so many different things people brought, to the point where it didn't fit on the table. Like the seal, the magnets, sorry, the seals, like someone's, like wax
Like
seals, stamps, but they're like different Wheel of Time images on them. So there was like, the ring, and there was the dragon or something like that. There was like 3 or 4 designs,
so cool.
range of colors that people could stick on their badges.
Wow.
Those and the magnets and the chicken magnets, chicken stickers, they all had to be on another table because the registration table was full. And I'm just like, here I am, and these people are just bringing so many things for everybody to have. And I haven't asked for any of it. They just want to make this for people and want people to have it. And the craft and the ingenuity and just the generosity is just people have been like, we do closing ceremonies, and I'm like, thank you to all the guests, thank you Guy, Rob, and Harry, blah blah, Juliet, and and then I thank everyone who's done work. Thank you Dan and Jess, Laura and Tony, and thank you Becky, and and those things. And then obviously thank you everyone for coming, because if you don't buy tickets, I can't run the event, and then people were like, no, thank you Rob, and Becky got up and was like, I said, anything you want to add, Becky, because we're about to finish up. And she's like, hey, and thank you Rob. And I was like, I don't need a thanks. Like, A, you've had a great time, that's my thanks, and B, people rave about the generosity, like how warm it is, how cozy, how friendly, how welcoming, all those sorts of things. And I'm like, that's not me. I'm not doing that.
But it is.
It's not. I've provided the space.
Yes, but you also are
like,
open to it, and you are you're a generous person. Like there's anybody who knows you can't get around that, and that generosity breeds generosity, and it encourages it, and I think that people who've listened to you, people who've met you, people who have been to your cons before or heard about your cons before, they just know that there is that level of of give back and give to and be part of, that is a part of who you are, Rob. So I'm throwing my wad of positivity back at you, baby. Because really, yeah, I mean, you're right. You're not asking for it, but that's part of it, is that you're not asking for it, and people want to meet you there. They want to meet you in that place. So, yeah, I think you've
well,
created a
I'm
lovely environment.
sticking with, I make the space, people fill it with love.
Wow.
So but yeah, it was for me very heartwarming, and someone actually their final shout out to what is it? I can't remember their actual name, but they go by Solution is what they are on Discord and stuff like that. And she comes from Germany, And she's never been to any form of convention whatsoever. She's never gone and met other Wheel of Time fans. And she, spent a weekend away from her husband and children to come and hang out with all of us. And she actually interrupted me in closing ceremonies to be like, I want to say something type thing. And I was like, okay, it felt like a sketch, like someone had set me up for something.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, sure. And I gave her the mic. And then she made us all cry because she was just like, I have never come to anything. I didn't know what to expect. I'm very shy. I came with nobody. I didn't know anyone here. And she's like, she felt like she's totally at home, and she has, she's had the greatest weekend of her life type thing. And she wants to thank all of us, and she's crying and we're crying. I'm crying. I'm just like, my God, woman, no.
What have you done to me?
What have you done? But yeah, it was just, a lot of, a huge amount of generosity from everyone.
That's great.
And that is, that is something I hope as we get bigger, we keep, because obviously when you can't quite have that when there's like 1,000 people in a hotel.
Right.
So, but yeah, it was very, very special. And that was my positive thing, which was, technically still a week ago. My God, it's only a week. Feels like it was years ago. I've got 51 weeks left, maybe 50 if we do it. What a holiday first, folks. What a holiday first.
Yes.
What a holiday is coming. I've announced that today. Let's finish on that. What a holiday is coming on November 30th, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're here in Europe, that's December 1st, technically speaking. Time zones. But yeah, what a holiday is coming up. I started filling that 24 hours ago. We have 24 slots to fill. I started officially filling that because I'd filled it with one for us and one for Threefold Talk about a month ago.
Yes.
So 22 slots to fill, technically speaking. But, I run it, so we get first dibs. And less than 12 hours later, 75% of the slots have been filled.
Amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, and some of the most difficult slots to fill have been done. But yeah, folks, come join us. We are supporting Like We the Foundation as always, but we're also supporting the Prague Shakespeare Company this year as a small thank you to Guy for all the work he's done for us. And we will be having 24 hours of chaos. It is ramping up. The first 6 hours look to be pretty frisky, shall we say.
Well, we are in that first 6 hours,
well, put it this. So we're going to start off with the dusty wheel.
Yes.
Okay. Then it's going to move to three wheeling. Okay, a little bit more risque. Then it's going to move to TVAD.
Oh boy.
Okay.
That's game over. They should be the last slot.
Right. After TVAD, it's North Harbour Podcast.
Oh, never mind.
Oh no.
And then after North Harbour Podcast, it's Twatcast.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, but then we start to bring it back a little bit, because then after that it's like Watchinary, so it comes down a little bit in craziness, and then it's Bodhi, so it comes down a little bit more, and then it's Lesby Nerdy, and it comes down a little bit more again.
So Lesby Nerdy is in twice for TVAD and Lesby Nerdy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be on there probably about 4 times by the end of it, so like that happens, But yeah, it's just like it then sort of rolls back down, like it goes it ramps up from like real PG to real R-rated to then back down to a bit more PG. So it's going to be very entertaining. And we've got a couple new people. Thirsty's going to be doing parodies. We have Delve in the Chronicles, which is a new podcast.
Which
Sulin
I'm following and listening to. So
nice.
Yes.
Sulin's doing Unhinged Ships, which was something she did at
that's great.
MalkieriCon. That was insane. People were dying. And I forget his name, but the guy who did Soundscapes of Time is going to be appearing as well.
Oh, fantastic.
RJ is his initials.
Yeah. Is his name Jordan or something?
Yes, I think so.
Jordan. Something. Jordan.
Yeah. But yeah, he's asked for a slot as well, so he'll be on one of the end slots. And Brandon will never appear. Brandon's always too busy. It's the week before Dragon Steel. Is that his?
Yeah.
Yes. I want to say Dragon Con, but it's a different one. Dragon Steel. It's a week before Dragon Steel, so I would assume Brandon will be too busy. But I'm gonna see if Guy's free and he can come out, and hang out. Maybe, I don't know, but we'll have fun anyway.
Yeah.
So year 5 people. I don't know what we're going to get up to.
Make it crazy.
Anyway, we've talked enough. The Emmys have started. I know Jen needs to go. All right, that's it, folks. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out and drinking with us. Just, go and have fun. Save your money for the MalkieriCon tickets 2024. And, that's it. Meg, what are our socials? Because I get them wrong.
3.wheeling on something. I think that's
On the Instagram.
Instagram.
Yep.
It's 3wheelpod on
On
Twitter.
Twitter.
Yes. We got
And
it.
3.wheeling on Instagram. Yes.
Yes. All right.
Well
Huzzah.
done.
Yes.
Well done.
Follow the socials. If you want to listen to us record or watch us record live, actually. 'cause
Yeah.
it's video.
And
Then
review
we'll
us
take my picture.
and leave all the good 5-star reviews
Mhm.
and write something.
We
And
accept-
if we see something,
we accept
then maybe
5-star
we'll read it or
reviews.
something. Yeah.
Cash and sponsorship from Deals.
Deals.
Where?
Very
Deals.
good. Deals.
From Deals, yes.
And High Noon.
Yes.
And High Noon.
And High Noon. Yes. There we go. This podcast is not currently sponsored by either of those products.
It is
people.
not.
But if you know someone who works there and they were looking for something to sponsor, give
Yes.
them my details.
That's
Or
right.
Jen's details or Meg's details. We would love that. So,
Yes.
and Amazon,
Bring it.
give us season 3. Bring it. Bring season 3. Come on.
Yes.
Right.
All
March,
right.
March.
I'm starting to consider changing my tune. Just saying.
Ooh.
What?
About
what tune?
about third quarter. I've been saying third quarter, and I'm like, well, I
What
might-
have I been saying?
I
I
might.
feel like I've not said.
I might
Did
be
I say
considering-
a quarter, or is you might be considering what?
I'm considering first or second quarter as a possibility.
Oh,
We'll see.
what have I been saying? I can't remember.
I think you.
Have I been saying first?
I think
think
you were
you've been
saying.
saying
You've been saying second
second.
quarter. I think.
I've been saying second quarter. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that feels right. Meg, what did you pick?
I'm saying March.
You saying March? Okay.
I'm happy to be
so
wrong.
Put in the comments below when you think it is, and hit the subscribe button while you're there. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Once again, we've proven that even when you're the third wheel,
You can always find a place to fit in
Join us next time
on three wheeling.
on 3-wheeling.
on Free Wheeling.